Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums, and I'm going to show you how to make these quick and easy accordion mini albums. These are just 5 inches by 5 inches, and they'd be great for a Valentine's Day gift or really any time of year. So let me open one up and show you what it's all about. So this one has a magnet as a closure, and then you open it up and it's got these pages that you can open this way and then this way, or just pull it all apart. So there's lots of room. There are 8 pages, so there are 16 surfaces that you can put photos or 10 things I like about you kind of thing. Great for grandkids or anyone for a cute little gift. So let me show you how to make it. And by the way, if you don't have a magnet, if you don't want to have this kind of closure, you could just forget about these 2 parts and use a simple tie closure, and you just adhere the ribbon underneath the paper on the cover for both sides and just tie it, or you don't even need a closure for the album anyhow. So let me show you what you need. Let's get started. So you'll need a chipboard. This is 5 by 5. It's 5 by 5. It's 3/4 by 5, 3/4 by 5. And this one we're going to cut down, and I'll show you. So it needs to be at least 2 inches by 5. And I'll show you how we cut that down in a little bit. You'll need 2 pieces of 65-pound cardstock, and this is 7 by 11, and this one is 5.5 by 7. And out of 2 pieces of 65-pound cardstock, cut one down 7 by 11, and then 7 by 5.5, 7 by 5.5, so those are just off of one more piece of cardstock. And if you have 110-pound cardstock, use that. If not, use 65-pound. So cut 4 pieces 10 inches by 4 3/4, and 1 piece 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. And those are the supplies you'll need to make the album, plus whatever decorative paper and embellishments you want to use. And I'm going to show you how I cut down this piece to make the flap. And again, if you have a magnet, that would be great. If you don't have a magnet, then you can just forget about these 2 pieces and don't have a closure, or have a tie closure. So this is 5 inches wide. I'm going to mark down where the center point on it is, so 2.5. And then I'm going to go up 1 1/4 inches. And mark where that is. You'll see it in just a second. And then I want to go up 1/2 inch. So we'll use a darker marker to mark it. So here is the intersection from the halfway point and 1/2 inch up. So now I'm going to get my cutting board, and what I want to do is cut from this point to here and this point to there. So I'll put this on my cutting line, and I'm going to rotate it till I hit that little dot. There's that. And then I'll go from this point to here. And there we have it. Okay, And we'll set these aside and go on to the next step. Alright, these are the two pieces of 65-pound cardstock. That's 7 by 11 and 7 by 5.5. I'm going to take a bit of real strong double-sided tape, so in this case I'm using score tape. And I'm going to attach these two pieces. So I'll put this close to the edge. Grab my bone folder and burnish it real well. And then attach these two pieces to make one nice long sheet. Okay. Then I'm going to take double-sided tape and put it around the perimeter. And then I'll go around and burnish real well. I'll draw a pencil line 1 inch up from the bottom and start laying the chipboard pieces on that line. I add some art glitter glue to the center of it so it doesn't buckle up in the middle. Okay, so we have that 1 5x5 piece of chipboard down. Now we're going to leave about 1/4 inch gap and put down the 3/4 by 5 piece of chipboard. And then we'll do the other 5-inch piece. And this time I'll add some glue to the center so it doesn't bubble up. Leaving another about 1/4 inch gap. We'll put down this other 3/4 inch piece, leaving a gap. And then finally the piece that's got the angle on it. There we go. And then I'll burnish it on this side. And then I'll take my bone folder and find the edge of the pieces and make a crease in the paper. And then let's trim some of the corners. So you want to stay about 1/8 inch away. And do the 4 corners. And then when it comes to this little piece, I'm just going to go trim that off and go right up to that corner. Stay about 1/16 inch away to the point. And there we go. And then what we're going to do is fold it. And you can use double-sided tape. In this case, I'm just going to use my glue. Do the long sides first. And when it comes to the corner, or the edge, so I'm going to take my bone folder and just scrunch in that corner a little bit. Add adhesive. And and do the same thing, scrunch in those corners. So this one's a little trickier, and in this case I'm going to add some double-sided tape. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here that'll help the papers bend. And we'll just come up like this. And down like that. And there you go. And with the heel of your bone folder, you're going to gently crease and bend the book at the same time. So gently crease and gently fold. And you're training the paper to go the way you want it to. And there you go. You've made the cover of your book. All right, now we're going to cover this area of the book just to help keep it not from being less flimsy. I'm going to cut down the 5x7 paper to about 4 7/8. And I'm going to grab a pencil. I'm going to center this piece about 1/4 inch from the right hand side of the paper and very lightly draw a line of where your angle is. And then cut on that line. So that's just going to go here to cover that up. This is where I'd use double-sided tape, and you're going to put it on either side, both sides of where the channels are. I'm not going all the way to the edge, maybe about 3/8 of an inch away from the edge. And then I'll also take some and put some up near where that angle is, but again staying maybe again 3/8 of an inch from the edge. And go ahead and burnish it real well. And peel off the backing of the double-sided tape. And we're going to also supplement with some glue and put down that piece of paper. And then taking the heel of your bone folder, only if it's very blunt. If it's pointed, don't use it, but gently crease the paper and fold at the same time. And I'll add some glue to the bottom of the flap just to make sure it will stay. Okay, fabulous. And there's your book. Then go ahead, and if you're going to add a magnet, this is the time to get out your magnet. And what I like to do is put the one magnet not too close to the edge, because you want to make sure there's room for the patterned paper to cover it. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on the point. In this case, I have magnets that don't have adhesive, so I'm going to take a little piece of score tape and put it near that point. Again, not too close to it. So I'll put the score tape on there, burnish it real well, peel off the backing, take the magnet and put it on the score tape. I'm going to add that backing right on top of it and let the second magnet attach to it. I'm adding a dot of glue so I know exactly where that spot is, folding the album, and then I can see where that dot of glue is. I'm rubbing the glue off of the magnet. I'm going to get another piece of score tape and putting it on top of where that dot is, because now I know exactly where the corresponding magnet is going to stick. Peel off that score tape, close it, let it attach to the score tape, and then I'll add the backing right back on it, and there we go. Of course, if you have basic gray magnets that have the adhesive on it, it makes it so much easier. All right, now we're going to do the pages. So grab the paper that's 10 by 4 3/4 and score at 4 3/4 and 9 1/2. And go ahead and do that to all 4 pieces. All right, and grab the paper that's 5 1/4 by 4 3/4 and score at 4 3/4. And then I'm going to bring in all those pieces and put score tape down on the bottom 1/2 inch between the score line and the bottom of the paper. I'm just lining them up real quick so I can get the score tape on. And also don't forget the 5 1/4 piece. And burnish real well, and then grab your scissors and trim off the corners. Just trim off a little bit going up to that score line. All right, and then let's get all the pieces together. We're going to connect them all. Score tape's facing up. I've burnished it real well, so I will just start attaching this so you make one long line of paper. Don't do anything with that small piece yet. And then after you've gotten all those pieces put together, go ahead and fold and burnish. Don't do anything with that little piece. Leave the score tape on for right now. So just fold it up like an accordion, burnish it, unfold it, and fold it the other way and burnish it again. Okay, so now we have this one piece. I'm going to burnish that down. And we have this piece. I'm going to trim the corners. So what's going to happen is this piece is going to go on top of the piece with the little flap with the score tape, and the score tapes are going to face each other. But I want to trim this down a little bit, maybe trim it down 1/8 of an inch on this side and that side. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'm going to add some tape. And if you don't have tape, you can just use your strong glue, whatever you are comfortable using. So I actually am going to use glue and tape. And like I said, the score tapes flaps are going to face each other. So there's that one. Going to put it down right where the fold is and center it. We're going to cover this up with some decorative paper eventually. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this so most of the pages are up on top. And what we're going to be doing is adding this to this 3/4 inch piece. And place where those two come together about 1/4 of an inch from the right side of that 3/4 inch piece. as I was recording that, I don't know if I was clear enough as to where you put those two flaps with the score lines. It's going to go closer to the right side, go about 1/4 of an inch away from that seam. So then when the book closes, the bulk of the pages are going to be on top, so the book will close. So just play around with that to make sure the book will close. You are going to go over where that fold is with one of those flaps. I hope that makes sense, and if not, please put a note in the comments and I will try to clarify it a little bit better. It's important to burnish real well at this point, and if you want, you can take some cardstock, some white cardstock, and cover that, but you're going to put designer paper on top. And that is all there is to it. It is fabulous, easy, quick, and you'll start making a ton of them once you've done one. So that's what we have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the other videos I've made. Leave me notes in the comments on what you've made with this tutorial. And thanks again for watching. Have a fabulous day.